Hey, hi Satish, good morning.
Good morning.
So wait for 1 minute and then we'll get started.
Sure. Shrikant, just a quick question before we
Yeah,
start.
sure. Go ahead.
So I have like 10 years of experience, but that is into infrastructure. So
Uh,
I'm I'm planning to move into this data science. That's the reason. But I'm not getting confidence, like because and also other thing is I'm not getting much interviews as well, which I'm trying to
mhm.
portray. So how do I, like, even if I try to get, I think I may have to join as a fresher only, right? So they're not considering the past experience at all.
yeah. So here you have to be a bit smart. Okay.
Mhm.
So when you talk about infrastructure, what all things you do? Is it specific to to any cloud or what kind
Not
of?
cloud, but I was on-prem VMware virtualization and monitoring tools and backup. So I
Okay.
was, yeah.
Okay. So see now what you have to in the infrastructure side also there are some kind of AI being applied, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I've heard about AI ops. So AI ops, what it does is like when you set up the infrastructure, it will it will play a role in terms of detecting any kind of anomalies in the network, right? In
Mhm.
the and then it will proactively tell that how when you have to optimize your computes or your servers if there is any kind of intrusions in the network that also it will detect. So you have to identify those kind of use cases. You will find, okay, do some kind of research. You will get some use cases related to infra, and even on the automation side. Uh, you will find some of the use cases in my organization also. This infrastructure team, they use AI, for monitoring purpose. So they
Mhm.
have a tool named as AI assist. So when
Mhm.
they are setting up the infrastructure, the monitoring is very important. You also mentioned about monitoring and all. So how you
Yes.
do the monitoring proactively, and and how you can predict if any kind of anomalies may come and how you can rectify it. So even on the support side, infra support side, if there
Mhm.
are any kind of queries are coming, so they have developed a chatbot which can resolve those queries. If somebody is asking like this is not working, or if the any technical executive, they have to resolve some issues, so they can leverage these kind of virtual assistants, okay, which can help them, to quickly resolve the issues. So you first, what you have to do is, if you have a 10 years of experience, then what you have to do is, then initial couple of years you show in infra, then after that
Mhm.
you show that how you migrated from infra and then started focusing more on the AI side, and you develop certain use cases related to infra only in the AI side. And
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
you have to add some more domains, for example, which are generic, like customer analytics, marketing analytics, sales analytics. Pick some
Mhm.
of the use cases and then put that last recent years you are working on those domains. So
Mhm.
in this way, your profile looks like more of an AI. So you have transformed your infra profile to more of a data science profile. Show that, okay, you have developed a dashboard. So currently we are discussing on Tableau. Show that you have developed a monitoring dashboards on Tableau of the infra. The data
Yeah.
was coming and then you pre-processed it, then you identified the KPIs, and then you build the entire dashboard which help you guys, to monitor the infra better, right? So,
Mhm.
and then you build some kind of a predictive models on top of it to predict any kind of failures, okay, which may happen in future in your network.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
so so that's how you have to um, take your domain expertise and identify some potential use cases in the AI side and then include it in your profile. So in
Okay.
that way, you can cover, I would say, cover around 4 years, 3 to 4 years of your entire experience as a data science experience.
Okay. Got it.
Then you go for it. Otherwise, if you show 10 years, just think from an interviewer perspective, okay, from any company perspective. Like if you are showing 10 years experience in infra without showing any project on the AI side, and then now if you go and look out for AI, nobody would consider, even you will not consider, right?
Yeah.
Any such
Yeah.
profile. Because if you're saying 10 years, definitely they have to pay more. If they are paying more,
Yeah.
then they will expect a person, who has some prior experience in AI, right?
Yes.
So you have to change your profile. When it comes to confidence, when you will get confidence, when you keep practicing this. That's what I'm saying, keep practicing. Take some data set, okay, think about it, sit. Okay, you have to spend time, guys. Okay, it's not something like Java or any other programming language which you will learn in 1 week and then you will go and look out for the job. It's more of a science. You have to understand the concepts. You have to understand how can we apply these concepts in the real world scenarios, how we can solve it. Then you should have hands-on experience of taking up some raw data and then processing it and then training the model on top of it and then utilizing that model for making some decisions. So all that thing you have to do it just by attending these classes and then sharing then floating your CV the way it is, it will not help. You have to be little smart. How can just get into interviewer's shoes and then try to think what he would be expecting. So
Yes.
whatever job description you are reading through, that should reflect on your CV. In your job description, if they are expecting 4 years to 5 years relevant experience in data science, then your CV should reflect that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be rejected in the first go itself.
Yeah.
And now, for to gain the confidence, you should have a good subject knowledge, guys. You should spend time. I'm not saying whatever algorithms we have discussed, be you know uh, gain in-depth knowledge on those algorithms. At least pick few algorithms which you are where you are confident and highlight those algorithms in your profile. If any question comes in, and let's see in the interview, all the questions will come through your profile only. Whatever you have mentioned in your profile, if they liked it, then all questions they will ask from your profile. So you have to be very confident what you are putting into in your CV, in your resume. You should be able to explain it properly and with full confidence. And it's okay. See, anybody on this planet, will not have all the knowledge, right? So even the data scientist, when even I take interview or a regular basis, I don't expect everyone, to have a, knowledge on every algorithm. But if he has a concepts, basic fundamentals, clear, then he will understand those algorithms within no time. So that fundamentals you have to, uh, you need to have a knowledge on those fundamentals properly. So, for
Okay.
example, statistics, linear regression, logistic regression, some of the machine learning models like gradient descent. Gradient descent, we have discussed, right? So that is the um, backbone of every algorithm because that is kind of optimizing the entire algorithm and finding out the optimal values. So you need to understand what is that gradient descent. If you understand that, then you can understand other algorithms also easily.
Mhm.
So like that, you have to clearly uh, you know create your own learning path, right, where I should focus, and then on top of that learn some cloud. There are multiple certifications are available. So for
Yeah.
example, if you go with an AWS machine learning specialty, they will first teach you the concepts. So I think that you are clear, so you can easily understand whatever concepts they will explain. And later they will also explain you about how you can train the model on AWS. And that is not a rocket science. Within
Yeah.
few days you will understand. Okay, that's a simple.
Yeah.
So they have made even things much more easier. What we are doing in Spark and Python, some of the things are like automated on AWS. So those are like out of the box services which you can directly use. Just you need to gain that awareness. Once you get that awareness, within a week, I'm telling you, you can get certified. So for the experienced people, I'm telling. some certifications are also important that will further evaluate that will increase your credibility, right? So if you
Yeah.
put like you are certified on AWS on machine learning, you are certified on Azure on machine as on data science, so that will add more weightage to your profile. So these are the things you have to do, and trust me, if you do this 100% you will get calls.
Yeah.
If
Thanks.
you're
Thanks.
not, so if you're not doing this, then definitely you will not get calls and you will get frustrated, and then see all the efforts and the time which you have spent, all these months, will go waste. This is the end. I'm saying, mostly people they lose in the end where you have to take one extra step. If you don't take that, then all the efforts what you have done all these months, given all these months, will go waste. So this is the extra one step what you have to take. Designing your profile, you have to spend time. It may take 1 week time, but you have to continuously every day you have to take out time, 2 hours time, build your LinkedIn profile, build your CV, make sure that you are putting all the things properly, then compare with the job description for which you are applying. See that all those keywords are there in your CV or not. You are qualified for that particular role or not. Then you go and apply for that job.
Sure. Sure.
Making sense?
Thanks. Yes. Yes.
So do that.
Yeah.
Okay, and let me know. You can message me anytime, if you need any help. And once you come up with a draft of your CV, then later, we will review it and I can give you certain inputs. You can further improvise on your CV and then you can start looking out, floating that CV. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Thanks.
All right. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so yesterday we discussed about bar charts, we discussed about data. So any questions on that, guys? Okay, so now we will talk about how we can combine fields. So sometimes what happen in the data, you may have to build a contingency fields or conjoint fields. What that means is where you have to concatenate two different fields. For example, if you have first name in one column, last name in another column. Okay, so there you can add, you can create one more column where you can add those two columns together. Okay. So for example, let me pick something here which I can add. Yeah, state and country. So here I have state. Where is the state? Okay, so let me take state. So these are the different states, and then I have cities. Then I have cities here. Okay, so I have different states. Why is it coming like that? 1 second. Yep, I have state, I have cities. Now let's suppose I want to build one field where I should get city as well as state both. So the way we write, right, Hyderabad, comma TN, right? So in that way, if I need to concatenate both the fields together, then I can use this combine field option. So what you have to do is you just select city and select state together. Okay, you just use control and then select both and then say create combined field. Okay, go here and say combined field. So it's combined. Okay, so if I go and drop it here, you see here uh city and state, they both are combined, city comma state, city comma state. So instead of now these two columns, I can just use this particular single column. So when you have more, so this is another way like where you can reduce the number of dimensions. So where you have to add state as well and city also, and when these two are two different fields in your data, so then you can combine those fields and then you can have one single variable, which can show your the both the information about the city and the state. So you can combine any variables, whatever you want. You can add more than two also. So you can add, you can select three columns and then say combine, then it will add those three columns. So basically, we use it like where information could be redundant and we don't want multiple variables to show the same information, then we can add all those variables together and show it in one single column. Okay, so in that way, you can add. So if it is like scripting, then you have to go and select that particular column and you have to use some logic to concatenate those two fields. Now, Tableau has made it easier for you. Just you have to select through UI, you can do a lot of things without even writing a single line of code. You can do a lot of things in Tableau. So that's the reason it is for people, who are um, who doesn't like to code or who are not proficient in coding and programming, or any kind of scripting. So for them so basically it is for the business users. So business analysts who have a domain understanding, who understand what kind of KPIs would be relevant for the business, so they can build a dashboard better. So guys, now data scientist, okay, uh, he comes somewhere in between. Okay, so he's neither a pure software developer nor he is a pure business guy. He's somewhere in between. Okay, so he can do some level of programming. He should able to do some kind of level of programming, and he should able to know some kind of business, right? If you talk about business analysts, they are very much aligned to the business. So they know all the functional and domain. They have a domain knowledge and acumen. But when it comes to translate that problem into some technical solution, they won't be able to do it. When we talk about software developer who are complete geek and that completely techie, so they can, if you give them the problem, if you show them the direction, they can do it. But they proactively they cannot come up with an elegant solution. So now data scientist, the expectation would be like he should able to talk to business and he should able to also communicate to the software developers. He should have that kind of a mixed knowledge. And the person who can do all these things, you know, if he knows the business just like business analyst, and if he can code just like a software developer, then we call them as a full stack data scientist. So that person alone can go and talk to customer, take the requirements, can come back and get the data, or do all those things, build applications, build AI solutions on its own. So basically, you will find that kind of a role in more of a startups. Okay, in the startups, people choose that kind of candidates who can do all those things together, because they cannot afford to have multiple people. So they will pay high to that person, and they expect everything to be done by that person. But in the bigger companies, you will have a one business folks, business analyst who will work along with the data scientist. Then the data scientist will have some other team members like data engineers, cloud architects, infra team, application development team. So they all work together in a, as a group, as a team, and they build a solution, right? So Tableau is primarily meant for the business users, but now for data scientists, it is also have become very easy because they can understand the business and they can quickly come up with the dashboards. Okay, so now your horizon expands, because you can look out for the opportunities like a data scientist who is developing Python solution or a PySpark solution. And if you're satisfied, so if you get certified on the cloud, then you can look out for cloud based roles also. And if you also learn Tableau, then you can look out for a role where even the BI is also being asked. So that's the reason we are covering all these topics, so that your profile looks complete and you can look out for any such kind of opportunities. And in the beginning, do not be so choosy, guys. I'm saying look out for any profile which wherever you are comfortable, go for it. first 1 year, 1.5 year, get settled there, understand, how things work, observe, gain that experience, and then once you gain the confidence, then you look out for. So even if you have to compromise a little bit on your compensation in the sense, like if you are expecting a hike of 50% or 60%, but if they are giving you 30% or 35%, go for it. Do not hold yourself that, okay, I will only go if my salary gets doubled, okay, then only I will look out for this. No, the first initial, you have to take it as an opportunity, as a launch pad, that you got an opportunity to transition to transition from your existing domain to this data science side. So take that opportunity, work for 1 year, and then in this 1 year you will also understand, like, whether it is your cup of tea, whether you are getting interest or it is exciting you, that work or not. Evaluate yourself. If you feel that, okay, you cannot do it for longer time, then you can think about some other options. Okay, so yeah, so coming back to this, yeah, so this is how you can create a combined field. Then you can add whatever you want to see from based on the city and the state. Okay. So you can just add that continuous variables, and then you can choose whatever, chart you want. Okay, so we will see about, how we can optimize this entire different charts, to make it more uh, visible, okay, and to how to fit it in the dashboard later when we talk about the dashboard. But here I'm just showing you a couple of techniques, how you can pre-process the data and how you can prepare your data. Okay, so now comes the calculated field. So this is again, so here we were just taking the existing field and combined the field, and we created one more extra field. And if you observe, then that particular field which we have created, okay, so you can locate that this is a derived field. This is not existing in your database. So it is a derived field. It will be shown like this, or else it will be shown something like this. I'll show you here. Okay. So if you see here, it will show like equal to, equal hash sign. So that means these are like calculated fields. These are the fields which are not existing in the data. You have added these fields. So when you are doing some kind of analysis, it's not something like you just take the raw data and then do the analysis on top. Sometimes you have to do some calculations on top of the existing variables. Sometimes you have to create some derived fields which will help you to get more insights, right? So all that is important, and here in Tableau, it is quite possible, to create those kind of calculated fields. Guys, just a second, I'm getting a call. Okay. So calculated fields. So if I have to, for example, I want to calculate. I'll take this particular data. Okay. So let me open up a new file. There are a lot of existing data in this particular file. Maybe share this. Okay. So now I'm connecting the data, Microsoft Excel. Okay. Okay. Now here I want to create some calculated field like profit by sales. What is the percentage of profit I'm getting on every order? So that, let's suppose that I want to calculate. I have a profit as a separate variable and the overall sales as a separate variable. So definitely the profit would be lesser than the sales, right? So sales is like, when you are selling any particular product, how much revenue you are getting out of it. But if you subtract the cost, overall cost of goods sold out of that overall revenue, then you will get the profit. So revenue minus cost is equal to profit. So I want to understand like what is the profit percentage on overall revenue. So for that, I'll just go here and I will say create and I'll say calculated field. Now this is the pane, where you can write all your calculations. Okay. So here I'm saying profit percentage. This is the name I'm giving it to the field. So I will go here, I'll clear it off. I'll say sum of profit. So as soon as you will click it, you will able to so there is an IntelliSense which will give you all the suggestions and you can pick whatever you want. Then sum of sales. Okay, so once you write this particular formula, so here you need to have some knowledge about little bit of not a coding, but how to write that particular logic here. Okay, that's something you have to clear. If you don't write something here, something if you put it like, so it will give you the error. Okay, it will say cannot make segregated and non-aggregated arguments. So this is known as debugging. You should by looking at the error, you should know like where the things are going wrong. So as it is saying, it cannot mix the aggregated and non. So here I'm aggregating, here I'm not aggregating. I'm not aggregating. So that's the reason I'm getting this particular error. So it says that okay, either you don't aggregate it or aggregate it both the sides. So better is like you aggregate it because if you are using any kind of filter, so then it should go and aggregate these two variables at that dimension, and then it should give you the profit percentage. So sum is always better if you use it because it will help you when you are using any kind of filters. Okay, so now profit percentage is there. Now, if I want to understand for which product, yesterday we have seen that how to create a hierarchy. So I'm creating a hierarchy here. Okay, so I'll pull it here and I will use this profit percentage. Okay, so now here profit percentage is showing up in decimals. It is showing as a ratio. If you want to change it to percentage, just go here and say format and take here, say percentage. Okay, so it will show you in percentage. Now, where you are getting highest profit uh, margins is technology, followed with office supplies, and then the furniture. So instead of adding profit as one variable and sales one variable, and then allowing the business users to calculate themselves like where the percentage is high, instead of that, you can calculate this profit percentage and then use this particular variable instead of using profit or sales, right? And then you can use appropriate chart, whatever you want to use to show this particular information. So here, let's go with bar plot because here we just have, three categories. So bar plot looks okay. And as I have created the hierarchy, then I can also look at a subcategory level also. So now, see, now every bar is in blue color, right? If in the entire dashboard you want the users to get the attention on something, okay, which is important to look at, so you can get their attention, okay, on those things by adding some colors to it. So I will take this profit percentage and put that into color. Okay, Now, instead of looking at all the bars, wherever there is a dark shade, okay, there, yeah, go ahead, Maruti. You have a question? Maruti? Okay, I think all right. So with this, what will happen is now if somebody is looking at the dashboard, they're quickly, their site will go to these colors. Okay. So here we have this legend saying that okay, if it is like to a like orange shade, then that means there is a negative profit percentage. So negative profit percentage means here the profit is negative. Okay, so they are it's is going in losses. So which are those subcategories like tables? Okay, which is incurring lot of losses. And then where it is more profitable, so wherever you have a dark shade or wherever there is a long bar, okay, so those are the subcategories where the profits are high. So this is how you can use this calculated field, and then you can show that information. So see which kind of calculated field you have to build, how you have to build. That's something you have. It will come based on how much you practice, right? So that's something you keep practicing. So I'll show you one more. So for example, string calculation. So this I will show it here only. Yeah. Okay. So here I want to create a field where I should get certain pattern of string. Okay, string values. So for example, here I want the city which is having all the string values like text values. So I want to put some kind of a regular expression. So regular expressions are something like which will identify the pattern, okay, from the strings, and then it will give you the results. So here I want one field which go and check whether in the city name if there is any kind of a string like fort. Okay. So you have to go and look out for this, say contains. Okay, and then you pass this particular. So if you see here, it will also give you some kind of hint, like how you have to write this particular code here. So contains, pass the string in which you have to search. Okay, this code has to search, and what is the substring which it has to search in this particular string. So pass the city column in this, wherever there is a string known as port, and you have to put, and when you are passing any substring, you have to put it in double quotes, right? So you have to pass this particular substring. It will go and look into all the cities, and wherever it will, and wherever it founds this particular string, it will give the result as true. Otherwise, it will give the result as false. So when I'm saying okay, okay, now you look at this. So this particular field has been created. So this is a calculated field. So here you see that what kind of results it will be having. So it is saying equal, and it will be having a result as true or false. So now if you go and put it in the filter, okay, say true, say apply, okay, you will see all the list of cities where there is a string known as fort. No matter whether it is in the beginning or in the end, it will look out for that substring, and then it will filter down your city based on that. Now this kind of filtration, you cannot do it just by using the filter option. So for that I have to create a field, different field, based on which I can do this filtration. Okay, so if I remove this filter, I'll just put this particular thing here next to this. So here you will get false, false, false. So wherever there is no fort, it is showing it as false. Wherever it there would be a fort, it will be shown as true. So there are few only, so that's the reason we are unable to see it. Yeah, so for these cities, the city underscore or is coming as true. So here I've just shown you one example, like how you can find out or how you can filter down all those values where you will find certain type of substring. Now you can use any other substring, okay, and then you can filter your data accordingly. Now comes your date calculations. So we have seen how we can, so here we have seen how we can create a column calculated field on the continuous variable, right? These are all continuous variables. You can take the ratio, you can sum it, you can take the average, you can take the standard deviation. For example, let's suppose I want to create a, let's see if standard deviation is there or not. STD, yeah. So here it is standard deviation. So here I'm passing let's so I'll pass sales. So calculation is valid. I'll say sales standard deviation. I'll say okay. So my sales standard deviation has been created. So like that, you can create whatever kind of calculation you want to do, aggregation you want to do on the continuous variables. So this is how you can use it. And here we have seen that if you have a categorical variable, which is having string values, then we have seen that how we can derive new variables based on those string values. Okay, so here you have multiple other options. If you go to the website, Tableau website, there you will find all the list of different calculated functions available in the Tableau. So you can try those calculated functions available in this particular calculated field option. Uh, Edit. Start with, if you say starts with, so start with city. If I say same thing, if I say fort, now it will pick up only those cities which are starting with fort. Okay. So you should be, so see here, it has giving only those cities which is starting with fort. So based on your requirement, you can change the logic and you should be aware that what all functions are available inside the Tableau and choose accordingly, whichever is applicable for your use case. And now coming to the date calculation. So we have seen for the continuous variable, we have seen for the categorical variable. Now we have a date column. We will see that how we can use a different kind of calculations which we can apply on the date column. So first, the date column, the most important part would be like how we can segregate the date, right? So here I have existing field. So here we have the function known as date part. So for example, from the date column, I want to segregate only the month and that I want it as a separate field. Okay. So there I can go and use this date part option. You can use whatever part you want. You can use day, or else you can use month, you can use year. So these are the three parts of the date, right? So you can extract those parts from the date and then you pass the date column here. You say, okay, now if I'm going and taking a date part here, so it will give you in the form of month number. Okay, so January 1, February 2, March 3, so like that. So somewhere it would be useful for you to have these kind of numbers, okay, which you can use it for some kind of calculations. So for example, now I want to find out the month difference. Okay, so the date. So for example, I want to find out the month difference. Okay, from today till since the time the transaction has happened, how many months have been passed, right? So if I want to make that kind of a calculation, so where we can use this kind of fields is if you want to understand like how recently the customer has made the transaction. So if you want to know like how many months passed, okay, that the customer has made that particular transaction. So you take the current date, today's date, and you take the last transaction of that particular customer, and then you subtract the dates. And then you can either get the results in days, or else if you want it in months, you can uh, subtract, based on the months. So here I want to find out the month difference. So I'll take this particular function date difference. If you want it in days, then you consider days here, or else if you want in months, you take month. Okay, so I'm putting one time here. So let's suppose this is my current date, okay, and this is my order date, okay, when the transaction has happened. I'm saying okay. Now, if I bring this month difference here, so it is saying that it has been 21 months, okay, from that particular date, which I have passed as a static date. So the difference is 21 months. So I can understand, when was the latest recent transaction has happened. So recent transaction has happened, 21 months back, okay. So that's something, okay, you can calculate based on the date. So first is like how you want to extract the date part that we have seen, how you want to do some kind of a date differencing, that we have seen. So these are the major things which we do, on date column, and the good part with this Tableau is if you're just directly using a date column like order date, automatically it will do the grouping. So you need not to go and extract the year separately. So automatically it will create that kind of an hierarchy. So first it is showing at the very top level year. Then if you expand it further, then it will show you on the quarter level. You need not to extract it manually by any function, all those quarters and year from the date. It will automatically show you in that particular form. Okay. When you collapse or when you expand that particular column, date column. So it is showing at the month level, it's showing at the day level now. Now, if you want to show it on the exact date, just go here. So here you will have multiple options here, right? So you say day, select day here. Okay, so it will show you at a day level. Okay, it will show you at as a day level. Okay, now if you want to show it at a week level, then you just select this. It will show you at a week level. So it is giving you the starting day of the week. Okay. If you want to look at the data at a month level, then this is how, it will show you in the month level. Then the quarter level, then finally at the year level. So this kind of options automatically you will find it in Tableau. You need not to go and extract the date part and then do it. Okay, so that feature is already there in the Tableau. Okay, now let's look at some kind of an aggregations. Okay, now by default, I'm just removing this. So for example, now at a region level, you want to see the average sales, right? But as soon as you click on the sales, by default, it will take some, right? Now, if you want to convert that into an average, so you have multiple options like quick calculations, what you can do. You go here, measures. So you have all these different kinds of aggregations which are possible. You can take some, by default, it will take some. If you want to calculate the average sales, just click on this. You need not to go and create a separate field as an average. You can directly change it from here. Okay, so it will give you the average sales at a regional level. If you want to find out maximum sales or the median of it or the count distinct, all that is possible. So if you want to find out the maximum sales, so this is your maximum sales. Okay. Now, let me make it a little bit more complicated. So I have a region. Now, let me add, hope you guys are following me, guys. If you have any questions, then let me know. Where is the category? Yeah, I'm adding subcategory. Okay. So now I have this. So it is showing me the maximum sales. But let's suppose my interest is to show, yeah. So here, let me go and first change it to sum. This is my sales of this accessories, okay, in all these regions. Now, see, these are the numbers, right? I can clearly can't make any sense of these numbers at one go. I have to go and look at the numbers every time and see that where the sales are high or where the sales are low. So one thing is what you can do is you can just add this particular sales into colors. So whenever you want to highlight something, just use these colors. Put this into colors. Okay, so here wherever there is darker uh, font color. One second, guys. That means there are higher sales. Wherever there is a less shade, then that means there is a lower sales. But here, let's suppose my interest is to find out for accessories which region is contributing more. Okay, let's suppose I want that. Now here you have to go and do some kind of table calculations. So in table calculations, so let's suppose I want to do a percent of total. So percent of total will do what? See. So now this is my total, accessories total. Okay, if you sum this up, it will come out to be as 100%. So in this 100%, the maximum is coming out from West. So if you want to check it, you will check the numbers are higher for the West, right? But here, if there is a slight difference in the numbers, manually that calculation, the person has to do it in mind, right? If you do it in this way, it is easy, right? And now you put this sum of sales, the same thing, into this color. And here also you apply the same logic. Okay. Now instead of, it is not that looking good. So what you can do is go to the color, say edit colors, and use the option. I will take two colors, something like this. This makes sense. So if you look at it, wherever there is a blue color, so that means it is high. Wherever there is a orange color, that means it's low. Okay. And wherever it's a red color, so that means it's very low, right? So this is called as your kind of some kind of a heat map, okay, where the shade of the colors is giving you a picture about where the values are high, where the values are low, right? So this is how you can do the aggregation, and the table calculation will help you to do the calculation across the table. Now, I'll show you another option. So here we have used table across. Table across means from left to right, it is making the calculation. So when you are saying total, it is taking the total from left to right and then calculating the percent. So here from across, if you sum it up, the percentage will be equal to 0. Now, what if I want to know that in a central region, which subcategories is contributing more, right? So there I will go and apply a table down. In table down, if you see this whole sum, this will come out to be as 100%. And if you want to locate like where the percentage is high, okay, you can easily locate that this is shares. Shares in the central region, shares are doing good, right? So that's how you can use this table calculation, and you can show the information across the table, okay, by doing some table calculation on top of it and then adding some kind of color gradient on top of it. Okay. You can, in fact, you can use this kind of bar charts. Second. So you have to be bit creative. Like if I want to use the same thing, how should I use it? So I'm just clearing it. Let's see that how we can use the bar chart here. What I've shown you, I've shown you through subcategories. And it would be better like if you also do it along with me. In that way, it would be interesting for you rather than looking at it. Then I will use sales. Sure. So this is my stack chart. For each of these subcategories, for each of the region, this is how it is looking like. Now, if I want to use table calculation here, yeah, yeah, here it's clearly showing the percentage. So if you go and click it, mouse over, so it will give you the percentage. The central region is having 3%. It is having 4%, 1%. No, this is wrong. So I have to make it table down. Yeah, now this makes sense. Yeah, so now this is how it looks, right? So this is if the overall sales of a particular chair or a particular subcategory is considered as 100%. So what is the contribution of each of these regions, right? So here the contribution of this central region is 20%. This is 26%. This is 16%, and this is 36%. So here we are not going with a number, we are going with a percent. So if all these subcategories is giving you as 100% overall sales, then what is the contribution of each of these regions? You can able to see through this particular stack chart. So earlier we have seen just the table, right, where we have numbers, where the people are looking at the numbers and then based on that they are making the judgment. Instead of that, we can have this kind of a visual. So good part would be like if you can add some labels to it. In that way, it would be much more easier to understand this chart. So you just go and say sum of sales, put that into label, and here also you perform the same calculation. Label now. Where did I put? Okay, I put it on the size rather than put it on the size. I put it on the labels. Okay, so if somebody has problem in terms of looking at the size of the boxes, then then it's better, you just add the numbers. So easily, they can compare this. So in this one single chart, a lot of information is coming, right? Which region is doing good for in which subcategory, okay, and what is the contribution overall of that particular region. All that thing can be depicted out of this chart. Okay, so I will pause here. Okay, I'll stop it here. So today we have talked about calculated fields. I just shown you very simple and few examples, but there's lot of possibilities. You can go as creative as possible. You can create a complex calculations also by adding different kinds of functions in one single line of code. So that's something once you are practicing, a lot of materials are available, on the internet. You can just go through it, just type calculated fields, in the internet, and you will find some good source. So let me show you a good source for practicing the calculated field. So if you just type Tableau calculated field functions, so you will have all the different materials. So get started with calculation Tableau. So this is like step by step kind of a tutorial which you can use. And you have a good documentation here, okay, on the Tableau website. So you can go through it and you can use, you can refer to this documentation. They will give you also example like how you can write the calculated fields. And this is the same data which we are using. So it comes along with the software. Okay. So when you go to the Tableau repository, in that there would be a folder of data source. There you will find this superstore data. So the same data, they are also using all the examples, what they are providing, they will be on based on that particular data set also. So it would be easier for you to practice the same, on your on your system. You will have the data and you can apply all these different calculated fields. So step by step, they have given you all the details here. So you need to practice. So very exhaustive documentation, guys. So if you follow this, you don't require these classes, okay? So you can learn on your own. So it is not a very difficult tool to learn, guys. It's more of so they have made it so much user friendly and easy to access. It's the only thing what you have to learn is using all these different kind of options or the functionalities which Tableau is offering in more creative way. Okay. So one more thing I want to show, go to gallery, Tableau, Tableau gallery. So which we call as the Viz gallery. So if you go here in Viz gallery, you will find different kinds of dashboards people have built and they have uploaded here, for the public, So see, can you imagine this kind of dashboard is also possible on Tableau? This kind of dashboard they have built. So the people they made they gone like so creative that they have built these kind of and uh, and Tableau every time they also select the whiz of the day. So for example, every daily they select one whiz of the day as a new inspiring data visualization. So this they see that new and inspiring data visualization featured every weekday, right? So this is one. So you can just go and click here. Okay, it will open up as a dashboard. Some of the dashboards you can even download. Okay, so this can be downloaded. So if you have a Tableau desktop, you just download this particular whole dashboard, and then you can open it in your local machine also. To see how they have built this. So this is like creativity to the next level, right? So the same functionality they are using, what we are doing, but instead of building a simple dashboard, they are making it more interesting, okay, by adding a lot of different features. So you can add images also. You can do a lot of things. So it is, and again, it's a ocean. Okay, to learn Tableau, it's take years together. So this is a dashboard, but it's look like a web page, right? This is also they have given the complete access. Okay, you can just download and you can see what these guys have done. Okay, in this particular dashboard. So go through this, the documentation and the gallery. You will understand like how this Tableau works and how people are using it to build such kind of creative dashboards. So they've created something like a game also. Okay, so that's for today, guys. So if you have any questions, please go ahead. Otherwise, we'll wrap up for the day.
Thank you, Shrikant.
All right, then. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Shrikant. Yeah, bye.